Nowadays, older single women have set very high standards for men they want to marry. Xiaoling is a 30-year-old leftover woman. Although she looks ordinary and doesn't have a stable job, her expectations for a husband are far from ordinary. When asked about her expectations for a partner, she replied,
我要彩礼的话，我一般会得200万吧。
She wants to marry a rich and successful man, someone worth tens of millions who can pay a bride price of 2 million yuan. Xiaolin believes only this kind of man can truly take care of her. She even thinks 2 million is just the starting point. If a man truly loves her, he should also buy her a house.
我就只找这一批呗。现在结婚，他们很多都是要求要买房买车，更别说彩礼100万、200万了。你要证明对这个女性一辈子负责的话，你应该做出彩礼比较高的要求。我觉得200万不是很高，然后就是再怎么最低也得给女方买一个房。
Under the pressure of reality, she had to lower her standards and started dating a man who earned between 10,000 and 20,000 yuan a month. Although he bravely expressed his love for her, Xiaolin turned him down. She expected her future partner to be ambitious, respect her personal space, allow her to be addicted to video games, and not complain about her lack of communication. Life was so tight that even having a fried chicken burger became a luxury for Xiaolin. Thankfully, the man used coupons to save her money, which deeply touched her. However, her expectations for marriage remained high. When the man offered a bride price of 300,000 yuan, she rejected it without hesitation, believing it was far from enough to pay off her debts. Xiaolin insisted that only a rich man who could offer a 2 million yuan bride price was worthy of her. Sometimes, the reason why older single women struggle to find a partner isn't because society is too harsh on them, or because all men fall short. Rather, it's because they often hold on to a mindset of expecting others to adapt to them, without any willingness to compromise themselves. Many constantly complain, "Why can't I meet the right person?" But rarely do they ask themselves, "Am I becoming a better match for others?" When it comes to choosing a partner, they often create a long list of non-negotiable requirements. Tall, handsome, ambitious, owns a house and a car, and also knows how to be romantic. Yet they're unwilling to drop even a single condition, nor do they reflect on whether these expectations are realistic or even truly necessary. A blogger said that she already considers herself a leftover woman. She's no longer looking for a rich or handsome man, she just hopes to get married as soon as possible. She admitted that she's starting to feel really anxious about it. Leftover women are now even starting to compete with each other. I'm 33, have a master's degree, intelligence, and good looks. You could say I'm a premium leftover woman. At this point, I don't need a guy to have a house, a car, or even a bride price. In fact, I can lend him 30,000 yuan as the bride price. I don't need 3 jins or 5 jins of sincerity, and you don't need to have an 8-pack either. Honestly, someone who's slow and steady might be the most comfortable to be with. I've heard that after 35, no one wants women anymore, and I'm really starting to panic. Oh, and by the way, getting married and registering is now completely free. You don't even have to pay the 9 yuan certificate fee anymore. So what are we still waiting for?
我今年32了，还没嫁出去。很多人觉得我这个年龄并不。
I'm 32 this year and still not married. A lot of people think that's not even that old. I mean, I look pretty good, right? How could someone like me not have anyone interested? But as of today, I can pretty much say with confidence, I probably won't get married in this lifetime. Yesterday, my aunt tried to set me up with someone. He was a man who had already been divorced once, and before we even met, he rejected me. I never imagined I'd end up at the point where even a divorced guy wouldn't give me a chance. It's honestly humiliating. I don't even want to talk about the reason he gave. You can probably imagine it yourselves. So why is it that women between 30 and 40, so-called older single women, are becoming more and more common now? They're everywhere, all looking for partners but finding no one. At this point, I've come to believe that it's genuinely hard for older single women to find anyone. Getting married feels almost impossible. Let's face it, no man wants a woman in her 30s anymore. So can I just admit it? My life might already be ruined. Not being able to get married feels like a done deal. I give up. Maybe I'll just stay with my parents for the rest of my life and grow old alone. My childhood friend, the one I grew up with, her oldest kid is already in middle school. Back then, she used to joke that her child might get married before I do. Now it looks like that joke might actually come true. So what now? Maybe it's time I start planning for retirement. I'm in my 30s already. Give it a few more years and I'll be pushing 50. It's probably time to start preparing. Seriously.
剩女永远不愿意承认 对于男人来说，你30-40岁有房有车。
Leftover woman competition is getting worse. Women never want to admit this, but for men, being 30 or 40 with a house and a car still doesn't compare to the energy of a woman in her 20s, someone who can bear children. Even a young girl with nothing still has value. That's the harsh reality. A woman's age and fertility both have a shelf life. It's a privilege unique to women, and if you don't make use of it at the right time, then sorry, that opportunity doesn't come again. Some women even put a price tag on their degrees and assets, only to find out that men don't care about those labels. When a 580,000 yuan bride price turns into a 39-year-old trying to justify her own value, you finally realize that so-called self-improvement in the dating market is just putting a new label on an expired can. While society poisons women into becoming empowered older singles, it teaches men that investing in youth brings better returns than marrying so-called elite women who've passed their prime. The nursing home isn't the final destination for leftover women. It's just a mirror of loneliness. You once thought that moving into a nursing home and aging alongside your girlfriends would mean peace of mind. But in the end, you realize that even taking care of yourself is a struggle. A blogger explained why there are so many older single women nowadays.
怪不得现在的大龄剩女泛滥成灾，真实的原因
No wonder there are so many older single women in China nowadays. The real reason has finally become clear, and it's both realistic and harsh. In the past, it was common to see men struggling to find wives, while nearly any woman, even those with physical impairments, could get married. However, things have changed. Not only in rural areas, but also in cities, the number of older unmarried women is increasing. In the past, a rural woman who wasn't married by age 27 or 28 would be seen as flawed and face social pressure. Even in cities, most women would typically marry before that age. But now, whether in the countryside or urban areas, it's considered normal to remain single at 30. Does this mean these women are unattractive or unwanted? Actually, it's quite the opposite. Many of them are well-educated, good-looking, and come from stable, respectable families. For example, my cousin is a graduate from a top-tier 985 university, works at a publicly listed company in Beijing, and earns nearly 30,000 yuan a month. She's tall, fashionable, and attractive. Her parents are retired government employees with excellent benefits. Despite all of this, she doesn't even have a boyfriend, let alone plans to marry. Why? It's not because she doesn't want to get married, but because her expectations are too high. Many highly qualified single women share similar traits. They often feel very good about themselves, believing they don't need a man to support them financially. As a result, their standards for a partner become extremely high. When my cousin was introduced to a local guy with a decent but modest background, she immediately rejected him after learning that his income was lower than hers, without even giving him a chance. Moreover, many modern women have princess syndrome. They're emotionally sensitive, easily offended, quick to block or ignore someone over trivial issues, and expect constant attention, gifts, and romantic gestures. They refuse to do housework, don't know how to cook, and rely on takeout or eating out. Their lifestyles are centered around trends and appearances. Such women are hard to please and difficult to maintain a relationship with. On top of that, they've been influenced by romance novels and TV dramas, fantasizing about being pursued by a dominant CEO. They believe love should be effortless and always go their way. If the man doesn't meet their ideal image or slightly disappoints them, they break up instantly. Even if they marry, many don't want kids or care about their in-laws. Some men have become disillusioned. A friend of mine joked that it's easier to raise a cat or dog. At least pets are loyal and affectionate. With cars and hobbies, he feels life is more peaceful without a demanding partner. So the issue isn't that these women don't want to get married. It's their outlook on relationships and marriage that makes it difficult for them to settle down. That said, whether or not someone chooses to marry is a personal decision. We have no right to judge others. After all, everyone has the right to live life their own way. Rely on takeout or eating out. Their lifestyles are centered around trends and appearances. Such women are hard to please and difficult to maintain a relationship with. On top of that, they've been influenced by romance novels and TV dramas, fantasizing about being pursued by a dominant CEO. They believe love should be effortless and always go their way. If the man doesn't meet their ideal image or slightly disappoints them, they break up instantly. Even if they marry, many don't want kids or care about their in-laws. Some men have become disillusioned. A friend of mine joked that it's easier to raise a cat or dog. At least pets are loyal and affectionate. With cars and hobbies, he feels life is more peaceful without a demanding partner. So the issue isn't that these women don't want to get married. It's their outlook on relationships and marriage that makes it difficult for them to settle down. That said, whether or not someone chooses to marry is a personal decision. We have no right to judge others. After all, everyone has the right to live life their own way. Another woman shared her opinion, saying that although she is getting older, she still remains cautious about marriage because women are more likely to get hurt in a relationship.
没想到我们这些曾经的大龄剩女，现在却成了第一批吃到。
We never expected that we, once labeled as leftover women, would become the first to benefit from the changing times. Before getting married or having children, we had already seen through the true nature of marriage. Honestly, we owe a lot to the internet. So many women have shared their painful experiences and shattered dreams in marriage, which has made us much more cautious. Many people rushed into marriage without thinking it through, only to end up with someone who brought chaos into their lives. They couldn't fix the problems, and they couldn't walk away, trapping themselves in a miserable situation. I once saw a comment online that sent chills down my spine. No man marries you to make you happy. Because in many men's minds, marriage isn't about mutual happiness. It's about producing children, carrying on the family name, and extracting as much as they can: emotional value, sexual value, labor, even financial support. They marry to make their own lives better, not yours. When I read that, it was a wake-up call. But the more I think about it, the more it rings true. I'm not anti-marriage, and I don't believe in pitting men and women against each other. But at my age, I no longer have romanticized expectations of marriage. I don't count on it to improve my life or save me from hardships. I'm doing just fine on my own. If I meet someone truly compatible, someone who makes me genuinely want to marry, then I'll consider myself lucky. But if I don't, living alone is perfectly fine. Life is simple and pressure-free. Women need to learn to love themselves, to be financially independent. In today's society, women seem unable to escape the anxiety surrounding age. Once they pass the age of 30, they are often labeled as leftover women, a term rarely applied to men. In essence, this age-related pressure reflects a deeper form of gender bias. According to data from the Ministry of Civil Affairs, as of 2023, the average age of first marriage in China has been delayed to 28 years old, with women averaging 29. This shift is a natural outcome of social development, indicating that women are investing more time in education, careers, and personal growth. Yet ironically, in public discourse, marriageable women are frequently stigmatized, while men are more likely to be praised as career-driven or selective. The gender imbalance in the dating market further highlights this issue. In rural or less developed regions, there are significantly more men than women. According to China's 7th national census, there are over 17 million more marriage-age men than women. However, in first-tier cities, the trend reverses. The number of single women noticeably exceeds that of single men. This mismatch of gender and geography intensifies the pressure placed on women regarding their ideal marriage age. Many so-called older single women are not left behind, but are instead choosing to delay or even forego marriage. These women are highly educated, financially independent, and pursuing their own goals and pace in life. To them, marriage is not the ultimate destination, but a choice based on emotional connection and aligned values. In reality, marriage affects men and women unequally. In the workplace, married men are often seen as stable and reliable, while married women may face implicit discrimination, concerns over whether they'll become pregnant or need to prioritize family life. A survey on women's workplace survival revealed that around 62% of respondents experienced explicit or implicit bias from employers during their marriage stage. More importantly, the term leftover woman itself is derogatory. It reduces a woman's worth to her marital status. In contrast, we rarely hear the term leftover men, and even lifelong bachelorhood in men is not met with the same societal judgment. Marriage should be a personal choice rooted in happiness and willingness, not a social obligation. Whether someone marries or remains single, the most important thing is that they have the right to decide their own life path. Respecting women's right to choose and refusing to measure their value by age is a true sign of social progress. In a diverse and modern world, marriage should not be a life requirement, but one of many possibilities.